will be the downfall of Latinos and Hispanics every time. Florida is what I will vote for Donald Trump. Florida is the home of I will vote for Donald Trump. That's where they live. Vote where I was at for Donald Trump. The Florida Hispanics had a hit with that one. Y'all trash. Y'all trash. Trump trash. His wig is trash. All y'all are garbage. Okay? Y'all gonna be the downfall of the Latinos every mother time. Florida Latinos, Hispanics from Florida. You cannot tell them that they are not Caucasian. Like it's really just ridiculous.
No one wanted it, nobody asked for it, not even the man who inspired it. Yet Cuban salsa band Los Tres De La Habana, staunch supporters of Donald Trump, felt it necessary to pen an upbeat, catchy tune, singing praises for the Republican nominee at the time. The song helped the unknown trio to grow in popularity, and the song was added to the nominee's campaign playlist, and they performed the song all around the country in hopes that he would win re-election in 2021. But we all know that he lost to Democratic President Joe Biden. Since then, Trump ran and won re-election for 2025, and the song saw a resurgence in popularity, but for all the wrong reasons. In this video, we will examine the song's lyrics, the impact it's having, and what's become of the trio in light of Trump's mass deportations of immigrants all over the country, but greatly impacting the Hispanic community. So I was a little apprehensive on playing the song in the video, mainly because it could get copyright stricken, and y'all already know YouTube does not play. But I will play a few seconds just for context. I'll put a link to the entire song in the description box. And please, y'all, don't send these people no hateful comments. Thank you.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
No, I won't. This song gets on my nerves so bad. The production on this song is top tier. The song sounds good and nefarious at the same time. I was first introduced to the song back in January when I did this video, and I covered the ICE raids when they kicked off in January. And in order to sync the clips that I had with the music, I had to listen to this song repeatedly. After a while, it got stuck in my head. It kept playing in my head even while I was trying to sleep. It was playing in my head at work. All the blogs kept playing it. My friends and my family were singing it. I even found myself singing the song to myself out of the blue from time to time. And it got me to thinking that everything about this song has to be demonically inspired. Please hear me out. And again, this is just my opinion. It's not a fact, but let me cook. So if you are a believer, if you are familiar with the Bible, then you know that at one time Lucifer, the fallen angel, was once a minister of music. Then he got too full of pride. He got himself kicked out of heaven and cast to earth. Now, because God is still God, a lot of music is divinely inspired, and because the devil is who he is, a lot of the music is demonically inspired. Even when it sounds good, it can come straight from the pits of hell, where I believe this song came from. Because never has a political song been so addictive, so catchy, so seemingly innocent, and yet the lyrics have backfired in jaw-dropping fashion. So let's get into these lyrics. So after chanting the words, "Oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump" 2 times, the next lyric is, "The people don't have to feel no fear no more."
Desperate, terrified. There are people with mental health issues. There are people with panic attacks, anxiety attacks. They rather to die than go back to Venezuela, and then
people
have
are
to
talking
stop.
about taking their lives.
I have those messages
Because the situation
because
here
of the situation. They rather
so
to
bad with
take their own
deportation.
lives, yes, than go back to Venezuela.
The ripple effects affecting families and businesses.
If you want to keep America great, vote for Trump, vote for Trump.
Bro, of course I voted for Colonel Sanders to run the farm. What are you talking about? Bro, he's not going to make us chicken wings, bro. That's the unintelligent chickens, bro. We're the smart chickens. We're the smart chickens. Bro, look. I voted for him because he's going to get rid of all the bad chickens, okay? Not me. I'm a good chicken. And he's going to, make the economy of the farm better. He's going to give us more corn. Bro, I promise you, we're good. Well, shit.
Well, the new book is entitled Surviving at the Top. There are many people who would say failing at the top.
Well, I think what the press has done is taken a situation where they see something and blown it to kingdom come. I've never seen anything like it. Whether it's a marriage, by the way, or whether it's financial, I've never seen press reporting as I have with regard to me. And I hope the general public understands how inherently dishonest the press in this country is.
As a member of the press, let me try to clear up some of the things which you say are untrue. You write in your book, "My bankers and I worked out a terrific deal that allows me to come out stronger than ever. I see the deal as a great victory, and eventually the rest of the world will too." Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the banks,
Well, you don't have to say on the verge of
skating on
bankruptcy.
thin ice and almost drowning, that's a businessman to be admired?
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are
I
saying.
talk to your bankers.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean, you know, depending on which banker you're talking to,
Several.
what do they say?
Let's try to be accurate.
Go ahead.
Some of your friends have told us that you deliberately missed a payment on the Trump Castle debt so that you could negotiate this deal with the bank. Is that true?
Did I deliberately miss it? In other words, did I just say I'm not paying it
Yeah,
for a
because then I
specific
can deal
reason?
with my banks and I can get short-term, agreements over the long term.
Well, I don't want to comment as to whether or not I deliberately missed
Why
a
not?
payment.
That's important.
I think that the deal that's been worked out is a fair deal. The castle is doing very well. It's starting to do really well. Atlantic City is in the midst of a recessionary area. People are not going down like they used to because they don't have the money.
And the Taj Mahal, which was going to save everything, is just about breaking even, and your other two casinos are down 20% from last year. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said. The plaza is a very valuable property. Everybody told me, oh, you paid too much, you paid too much. Now they're all saying what a great deal he made
No,
on the
they're not.
plaza. Well, I think you'll find that it's a great deal when the deal is all said and done. I mean, the plaza is doing very well. The Taj Mahal broke every record. That doesn't mean it's doing well. But the Taj Mahal last month had the highest win in the history of casino gaming.
I know, but it still was not enough. It just barely broke even in terms of what it cost.
I don't believe in fake news. All I need is the truth because we love our country. We love it just like you.
At one point, he started to attack the press. And it's just me and my boss and him. He has a huge office. And he's attacking the press. And there were no cameras. There was nothing going on. And I said, you know, that is getting tired. Why are you doing this? You're doing it over and over, and it's boring, and it's time to end that. You know, you've won the nomination. And why do you keep hammering at this? And he said, you know why I do it? I do it to discredit you all and demean you all, so when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you.
Economy for Trump. Life is good for Trump. Because we love our country, we love it just like you. Now that one line, life is good for Trump, is the only line that has aged well thus far. The 34-count felon should be in prison, not out making life a living hell for everyone else. So as far as the song goes, that's it, folks. It's not very lyrically dense. The lyrics are patriotic. They throw in a few ad-libs. They say they are proud to be an American and God bless America and land of the free and home of the brave. But it's the repetition in the oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump, which creates what they call an earworm.
Okay, when's the last time you had a song stuck in your head? I mean, we've all been there. You know what I'm talking about. These snatches of song infiltrating your thoughts are known as earworms, and according to University of Cincinnati's James Calaris, 99% of us have fallen prey to them at one time or another. So virtually everybody. Don't get too worried. These are not actual parasites that crawl into your ear and lay music eggs in your brain or do some kind of Wrath of Khan thing, but they do get lodged in your head and cause a sort of a cognitive itch, for lack of a better phrase, a need for the brain to fill in the gaps in the song's rhythm. When we listen to a song, it triggers a part of the brain called the auditory cortex. Researchers at Dartmouth University found that when they played part of a familiar song to research subjects, the participants' auditory cortex automatically filled in the rest. In other words, their brains kept singing after the song had ended, and the only way to, scratch this brain itch is to repeat the song in your mind. Unfortunately, this is like a mosquito bite. The more you scratch, the more you itch cognitively.
The song is 3 minutes and 32 seconds in length, and yet they chant this verse 18 times throughout the song. And after the very first listen, I remember thinking, why did the phrase, "oh my God," needed to be in the song in the first place? It serves no purpose consciously as it pertains to getting people to go out and vote for a particular candidate. So I looked up the technical phrase, "oh my God," just to see what comes up. Extra, I know, but I'm going somewhere with this, so just work with me. "Oh my God" is an exclamation used to express a range of emotions, most commonly surprise, shock, or disbelief. It can also be used to express joy, frustration, fear, or even exasperation. While it is a common phrase, its use can be considered offensive by some as it invokes the name of God in a casual or non-religious context. So let's backtrack. Could the phrase be used to express surprise, shock, or disbelief? Maybe. A lot of us were shocked, appalled, and in disbelief that Latinos were campaigning for a man that was openly bigoted and promising to kick them out of the country. Fear, frustration, or exasperation. That came after the fact, so for now we'll say no. I do remember there was a time I would get popped for using the phrase because of the Bible verse found in Exodus 27. "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold them guiltless that taketh his name in vain." And I do believe there was a song that was ushered in that made the phrase more popular and part of everyday vernacular. And it may seem like a reach of epic proportions here, but how do we know the song isn't reaching our subconscious and going from, "oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump," to, "my God, Donald Trump"?
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
And I know it might sound crazy until you listen to a member of MAGA speak and they sound crazier.
So let me say this. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. And is this a setup? Did I ever meet you before? Huh?
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. All the way to the White House.
Even as I was researching this song in this group, the amount of artists from every genre of music that popped up with songs or complete bodies of work where every track listing is dedicated to Donald Trump singing or rapping his praises began to pop up everywhere. Forgiato Blow, who is a Latino for Trump, his whole rap persona is worshiping Trump in his rap music, like full-length albums with each track listing dedicated to exalting Trump. Bryson Gray, who is a Christian rapper, but he's also praising Trump in his music with his song "Trump Is Your President." Rodney Carrington is a comedian and actor. This song could be a parody. I'm not familiar with his work, but I did listen to this song, and it's less about Trump and more about denouncing Democrats and the former presidents Obama and Biden. And I feel like those kind of political songs are normal, where artists come together to question the status quo, critique legislations, or protest wars. Prince did it in 1981 with the song "Ronnie, Talk to Russia," where Prince was urging Ronald Reagan to give Russia a call before we ended up in a nuclear war. Or Green Day's "American Idiot," made to denounce the Bush administration. Or "Brain of Jay" by Pearl Jam, which is based on conspiracy theories regarding the assassination of John F. Kennedy Jr. When an artist gets involved and becomes political and are on the right side of history, many of them go on to create some of the most powerful and endearing music of their careers. And then there are these folks. But before I talk about them, I just want to clear up a quick rumor. Many people thought this poor lady Jeanette Correa was part of the band. They confused her with Anna, but they aren't the same. They don't even look alike. But honestly, that's just how irritated a lot of people are with these three and this song.
You guys remember this lady? Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
The trio is comprised of Herman Pinelli, Ana Pais, and Teriso Luis Pais. The group moved to Miami from Cuba in 2007. The trio is a family affair. Herman and Ana are married. Teriso is their son. When asked about their song, they are quoted as saying, "We did it because we wanted to. We didn't get a penny for it. Nobody commissioned it. We didn't know it would be so well received. That's why I'm grateful to the people for sending us so many loving messages. And also we reached a point in which the President of the United States knows who we are. 3 immigrants, 3 strangers to him." Well, isn't that just foolish? You wrote a praise and worship song to a billionaire who didn't ask for it and damn sure didn't deserve it, and look at how he's repaid you.
Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. La economía. From the summer, how many times did I fucking say it on this app? It's not about fucking legal. They just have to come here legally. 500,000 legally. Legal. Legally here. He kicked them out anyway. I'm sure some of them are fine people. But right now, all I see is bad people. I gotta make a choice. Feeling stupid yet? You see what you did there? Is it registering now? Venezuelans, Cubans, 75%, 75% of you, you're in there. Venezuelans too. What was it that you voted 67% rate for Trump? Haitians, Nicaraguans. Y ahora, Christian values. You wanted Christian values? Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Que tenga buen día.
And in the article that I read the quote from, these 3 also claim to be Catholic, and they voted for him because of their so-called morals and religious beliefs. And this question applies to every member of MAGA, not just the Latinos for Trump. What about this man even remotely gives morally upright? Don't worry, I'll wait. The evidence has always been there, and I have no choice but to believe that you saw his orange skin, straw strands, and whatever color eyes he has, and you decided he was good when his character has shown you otherwise. But everyone, including members of your own community, have been calling out your anti-blackness. And I've never had any dealings with Cubans from Florida. The Latinos that I know are wonderful people, but y'all's reputation is horrible.
Cuban American woman from Miami here. Actually, I'm from Hialeah. That's real deep. If you know, you know. I'm from Hialeah. I'm originally a Hialeah girl. I am from South Florida. I grew up in a Cuban community. My mom's Cuban. I'm ashamed, and I just want to tell the world I'm sorry. Not all of us Cubans are like that. Some of us do have empathy. Some of us do feel solidarity with the rest of the Latino community that's going through it. Some of us knew this was what was going to happen and tried to warn our friends and family. I have to explain to you why it's so different in South Florida. The Cubans there live in this bubble where they're the majority, and they think that they're white, and they live in a certain bubble of privilege where they don't see discrimination directed towards them because they're the majority. But I promise you, to those Cubans that haven't really left South Florida, just drive a couple hours north and you're going to realize you're not white. You're not white. You're never going to be white enough for them. So I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of your votes. I'm ashamed of those stupid videos I see you posting. You're embarrassing yourselves because, I see those 3 Doritos later videos, and I can't help but laugh. Sometimes I feel bad. I feel bad because the person getting deported didn't vote for shit. But, I have family members that are getting deported. And I have family members that voted for this shit. And I'm never going to share a table with them because now you want to feel sorry and now you want to feel bad. Now you see the consequences of your action where our own family is getting deported. It's too little too late. Too little too late. I see some of you crying on these videos saying how you regret your vote. I wish you had thought about it before. But these are the consequences. This is what happens when you don't give a about your other fellow humans. Karma's going to get right back at you. So again, this is an apology video to the rest of the Latino community. Please know, not all of us Cubans from Miami are like that.
And what's most appalling is I watched a few interviews of them where they are asked about how they feel about Donald Trump today, what he has done so far to this country, and how he is treating their community. And you already know they were sitting there skinning and grinning and saying they support the president. If they said anything worth sharing, I would have translated and shared it with you friends, but they completely anger me. Like their complicity with all of this, I just couldn't listen to it anymore. And like I said earlier, they became citizens in 2007, so they think they're safe from deportation. And who knows, maybe they are safe. Maybe the trio not knowing him was a lie. We all know there were a lot of various parts working together in tandem to get this clown back in office, so who really knows the truth when all they do is lie? The crazy part is, even if they are quote-unquote safe, the hostility towards Latinos will increase in this country. They just passed that budget bill, and even though MAGA is full of white so-called Christian nationalists, memories get real fuzzy when it's time to take responsibility for stupidity, ignorance, and evil. Mark my words, Latinos, because of their numbers, will be scapegoated. And Latinos have never really endured that part of the American experience for people of color in this country.
Latinos, come here. Well, the ones who didn't vote for him. Guess what? Trump is signing an executive order to keep countries out of the U.S., their citizens permanently banned from ever coming into the U.S. And he put North Korea, Afghanistan, Syria on that list, countries we would expect. But also, he's got Cuba on that list. How's that? Oh my God. They went all out, even had a song for him, dancing to their Papi Trump, and he doesn't want them here. He didn't put Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, any other Latin country, but he's got Cuba on that list. He is permanently banning Cubans from ever coming into the U.S. again. They were the biggest Latino group gunning for their Papi Trump. They even made up a song for him and everything. They were his biggest supporters. And it's the only Latino country besides Venezuela that is on that list. He doesn't want them here. Oh my God. If you're Cuban, how do you feel about that? He doesn't want y'all. He doesn't like y'all. He didn't put any other Latin country but yours on that list. You wanted your Papi Trump? Well, now you're going to have your Papi Trump.
And lastly, one day this group is going to have to reconcile that the cries of their people are getting drowned out because of this stupid song. Every time they try to speak out, they are mocked by these lyrics. And the sad part is people forget not every Latino voted for this, but the ones that did and continue to swear their allegiance to Trump play a major part in their suffering.
And nobody ever did more for Americans who love Cuba than a gentleman named Donald J. Trump when he was president. We had it going beautifully.
Hey, how come you guys aren't dancing and singing anymore? What's going on? Give me an update. Now that I listen to it, it's a pretty good song. How come you're not dancing no more?